Hello my beautiful friends. If you are new to my channel, please click the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notifications when I have a new video. And if you've been with me for a while, I'm so happy to have you back. This video today is about how to stop dismissing what you feel. There are reasons that we do this, and there is a healing modality that I love to teach everyone. The first step of how to validate emotion rather than invalidate or completely ignore what you're feeling. There's a reason that you do this, there's a fear attached, and there's a way out of it. Watch this video. So, as many of you probably know, I do a lot of relationship coaching. I coach a lot of couples and I coach a lot of women or men who are dealing with a relationship issue. A lot of these relationship issues have to do around attachment issue and attachment trauma and enmeshment and fear of abandonment and really just keeping the self safe within the relationship, not compromising too much, not invalidating self or other too much. So this video is really catered to one of the biggest sort of subjects that have come up for me in the last few days in my work, which is when you grow up in a scenario where you've been gaslit or you've been sort of dismissed emotionally. An example of this is, hey, you say to one of your parents, let's give an example, it happens in school a lot too, but you say to your parent, you know, that really hurt me when you said that or when this happened. And if your parent says, no, it didn't hurt that much, that's totally invalidating and dismissing emotion. And many of us grow up almost always having our emotion dismissed or invalidated. I was just talking to a client earlier today and she said, you know, Candace, she said, the one thing I just want out of life, the one thing is for my mom to validate my emotional experience. And what's interesting about this one client is she constantly attracts narcissistic men who also are not able to or capable of emotional validation of her. And so what she's done, what so many of us often do, is we attract that energy that feels familiar, that feels like home, because we think maybe this time I'll get my need met from someone super similar, so that wound will be healed. And what ultimately ends up happening is the wound gets reopened, and I call it the original wound pops up. A lot of times these narcissistic types of relationships are the ones that wake us up to our own healing from within, because it can never come from out there. And so what she was struggling with is, I still can't get this original wound healed because she keeps looking in the exact same direction to get the exact same wound healed. It can't happen. So what we need to do to stop dismissing our own feelings, another example of this is another client of mine today was telling me, which, by the way, if you're not my monthly membership and you're relating to this talk at all, please check the link below for Truth Room Tribe, because the month of November is all about how to stop living small. We often shrink ourselves when we can't validate our own emotion, or when our emotion wasn't validated, and we shrink so we can stay small. Because if we have an emotion that a parent or teacher didn't like, we would get in trouble and we wouldn't be safe. So we learn to invalidate ourselves, at the same time constantly being attracted to even friends who are slightly controlling, narcissistic, selfish, because we're still looking for the external validation. And so here's the key, my friends. In order to stop dismissing what you feel and stand up tall in your own emotional experience, you don't need anyone else to get it. You don't need mom to validate. What you need to do is sit back, become the neutral observer of who mom is and how she is, who dad is and how he is, who boyfriend is and how he is, to everyone and anyone, not just you. Start to see that this is an emotional handicap in certain people, but you're not emotionally handicapped. In fact, you're probably highly sensitive or sensitive to criticism or sensitive to everyone else's emotion because you've become a bit hypervigilant. And so what you need to do is first be honest. I usually give my clients a writing assignment. Be honest. This is actually how I felt when I was shrinking. If I wasn't shrinking, this is what I would have felt. I would have actually felt that dad is super annoying. The reason dad is super annoying is because he invalidates what I say. He doesn't stick up for me, blah, 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 blah. Holy cow, kind of reminds me of my friend. She also. And when you can get really real about how you feel, you heal. But when you get really real about how you feel, you're validating your own emotional experience. Next step is when you feel that trigger pop up, which it for sure will. When you're healing things, your external reality must always match your internal experience and vice versa. So when you're healing this, you'll get a lot of examples of it to work on it in Soul School. So the next time you get this hit and you feel totally triggered, I want you to remember, I'm going to watch this person. I'm going to see how I feel. Instead of dismissing how I feel and letting them continue, I don't need to do anything crazy, but I need to take aligned action with my inner experience. That looks something like, you know what, Dad? I don't feel good when you say that. I don't really think you're accurate about that. It makes me feel unsafe when you say that. And walk away. Don't get over emotional. Do not react. Just respond. What would someone who loves themselves do? Let someone know when they're bothering them. Let someone know when their behavior doesn't feel aligned for them. Let someone know when they've crossed a boundary instead of shrinking in to fit into someone else's boundary that isn't aligned for you. So we need to stop dismissing what we feel, because every time we dismiss what we feel, we're giving our inner child the message that you're right, you still deserve to be dismissed. And what we need to do to start validating and healing is, I see what you're feeling. I feel what you're feeling. This feeling is safe. This feeling makes sense. In fact, this feeling is real and it's valid. And we can start doing that to ourselves. We start to have compassion for ourselves and we start to have compassion for others. We start to see that the people that are invalidating us were probably never validated either. And there's a huge need and a wound in them that they are now projecting to us. And what we get to do is stop accepting, but start standing in our truth and saying, this doesn't feel right. And I'm going to let you know. And if you feel not confident enough yet to speak out on behalf, that's okay. Keep a feeling journal and just keep writing every single thing that you feel. And when you're done, say, and I deeply and completely love and accept you. Unconditional self-love creates unconditional self-trust, which creates trust in the universe and a surrender experience. So, time to validate, time to stop dismissing. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. And please share to anyone you think that could really use this message. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.